forever telling us that we were created not only to live and work, but also to be happy, purposeful, and enthusiastic. So this week, as I was preparing for a source of inspiration, because I'm always trying to think of, okay, what's the tie-in? It came through an experience that I recently had. And for young A, if you're watching, this is my recollection of it. You can correct me later. So it came like this. As I was saying goodbye to my friends, where I had enjoyed a lovely dinner, I was gathering my things, just putting stuff in this bag, giving hugs, and young A was looking at the bag, and she's doing one of these. Reading it. She says, "Is it true?" And I said, "Is what true?" She said, "Life is beautiful. Is it true?" And I stopped and I had to take a breath because I could tell that she was trying to wrap her mind around it. And, young 7-year-old inquisitive mind, and she does have an inquisitive mind. So I'm like, taking a breath, I stopped. I said, all right. My response to her was, I do believe that life is beautiful. And before I could go on, the question was, how? How is it beautiful? Well, for me, life has many moments when it's beautiful. It's beautiful when I see how much you love your little brother and how you care for him and you play with him. That's beautiful. It's beautiful when we spend time together and we play and we laugh, and to me, that's beautiful. It's beautiful when we spend time together and have a delicious dinner that your mom prepared. That's beautiful. Next question. Is it still beautiful when you're not here? Oh, yes, dear one, it's still beautiful. It's beautiful when I go for a walk in nature and I see all the colors changing and it looks like a big painting on the trail when I go walking. It's beautiful when I see a rainbow in the sky. It's beautiful when I see two people giving each other a hug and saying, I love you, and you know they mean it. It's beautiful when I go home and I'm looking on my phone and I see pictures and the videos that you took with all your funny expressions and comments, and to me this is beautiful. So I gave my goodbye hugs and off to bed she went. I, on the other hand, was reminded of this question earlier this week again and contemplated how deep this question truly is. Is it true that life is beautiful? Deep within my core, it's absolutely true. There are so many ways life is beautiful, and it's all there when I choose to pay attention to it and not get caught up in living to work. There is so much more as long as we're conscious to it and take the time to appreciate the good that is within each of us to experience. Life is to be lived. Life is to be enjoyed. Life is to be experienced with feelings, emotions, and wonder. It comes through us from within when we take the time to pay attention and not get caught up in the external conditions. And oh my God, are there external conditions every time we look? And if we want to focus on that, then we lose out on the other choice that we have. So we do have the choice of letting go of what no longer serves us and focus on the things that bring us joy, happiness, beauty, love. I find that the more I turn my attention to all that is good in the present moment, the more the stuff that doesn't feel so good falls away. My experiences change. My conversations change. My feelings change. To be in this space, it means I need to have the courage to let go of the fear of the future. I need to let go of what happened in the past and simply be with what is currently now. What is in front of me? Remembering that moment as I was leaving my young friend's house, I was reminded that life is indeed beautiful, and yes, it's true. For me, in more ways than I can begin to imagine. I have an affirmation. I will say it once, and I invite you to say it with me twice. And I bet you can guess what it is. So, life is beautiful. I live it through love and laughter. I live it through peace. All right? So let's join in together. Life is beautiful. I live it through love and laughter. I live it through peace. Namaste.
Thank you, Lena. I'm going to invite us all to take a breath, relax right where we are, and just allow ourselves to be open and receptive to this moment as we introduce a new chant today that was written by tenets and Pierre. So just take a breath and take it all in.
Hold on, I think the brand new song today. Bear with us.
Hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly I hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly I hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly I hum diddly hum diddly I. Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are always blowing. Just open your sail. Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are always blowing. Just open your sail.
So let's all take a breath and allow ourselves to open our sails to those winds of grace, for they are always blowing. I invite you to be open and receptive to these words of affirmative prayer from Lena.
Winds of grace, they are blowing. We are here right now in this moment where everything we experience is being lived through us, as us, in the joy of who we are, in the beauty of our presence, in our creative expressions, and knowing the truth that life is beautiful and it carries us through the day. Love is joy, life is joy, love, peace, beauty. Breathing that in, trusting and knowing that this is the truth of who we are at any given moment. We just simply need to tap in, and there it is. I let it go. I let it be so, knowing that my word spoken is done, and for this I am grateful, and I say thank you. And together we say, and so it is.
Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are always blowing. Winds of grace are Hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly lie. Hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly lie. Hum diddly hum diddly hum diddly lie. Hum diddly hum diddly lie. Hum 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 hum.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Lena.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. And our band is beautiful. Our musicians are beautiful. I have spent a week in. I was on Vancouver Island for the Circle of Love gathering, and it's such a joy to be able to go and be with people of like mind who are. I mean, not that I don't like this community. I don't want to say that, just to be really clear, but that are not this community. It's nice to broaden my circle of friends. That's what I'm trying to say. As it was coming out, I'm thinking, can I just take that back, please? No, it's such a joy to be able to go and broaden the circle of friends and know that we are part of a greater community that includes brilliant musicians. And I rank our musicians among the best in the entire movement. And so grateful for them. The song today is Pierre Gautreau original, yes? Yes, and it's a brilliant song, so please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band.
Days become weeks and weeks become months. I blinked, months became years. Oh, the time slips away each and every day. Could have swore I was just here. When the moment's gone, it's time to move on, and truth will be my guide. Expecting nothing but the best, north, south, east, or west. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. There's a great big world waiting for you, a great big world to see. Take it for a spin, enjoy the life you're in, and make it the best it can be. Oh, make it the best it can be. Best it can be. I've been around enough to know that happiness is a friend. Take it anywhere, up, down, here, or there. Take it to the very end. Well, there's a great big world waiting for you, a great big world to see. Take it for a spin, enjoy the life you're in, and make it the best it can be. Oh, make it the best it can be. The corners of the earth, oh, the edges of your mind. With openness and love, be gentle, please be kind. There's a great big world waiting for you, a great big world to see. Take it for a spin, enjoy the life you're in, and make it the best it can be. Oh, make it the best it can be. 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 There's a great big world just waiting for you, a great big world to see. take it for a spin, enjoy the life you're in, and make it the best it can be. Oh, make it the best it can be. 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 Oh, the best it can be. The best it can be.
Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band. Making it the best it can be. Making it the best it can be. Here's my question that I want to start off with today. Who is responsible for making your life the best it can be? Steve is responsible for making our lives the best they can be. Thank you for taking on that responsibility, Steve.
At $200 an hour.
At $200 an hour. There. Sorry. So now I'm thinking about this one thing that Dr. David Leonard said at the Circle of Love gathering this week. Right at the top of the week, he said, if you can laugh, you can heal yourself. Isn't that the truth? Oh, I just love the joyful energy that we all create. You know, we create the energy in this room, and I'm so grateful for that. But yes, who is responsible for making your life the best it can be? Oh, see, the rough answer is that we are only responsible to making our own lives the best they can be. So, are you depressed by that, or are you enthusiastic about that, is the next big question. Because you have a choice. You're always at choice. Each and every one of us is always at choice around how we are going to spend our time and how we are going to step in and make life the best it can be. And, you know, sometimes we're fed with these like, oh my gosh, these circumstances out here, and we get riled up by them, and we think that we're going to be controlled by them. The truth is we're not controlled by them at all. We are responsible for our own reaction to the circumstances, and that is how we begin to change our lives and realize that, you know, when we understand the unity of all life, when we understand this loving energy, this loving embrace that we are all in, life just gets better. It just gets better. So we continue our theme in October, which is global transformation through personal transformation. And today's topic that was offered for discussion and for expression is, we encourage our community members to live courageous, fearless lives and be passionate about its possibilities. Does that sound like a good thing? Yeah, you want to get in there and be passionate about the possibilities that life has to offer? Then what's holding you back? What is holding you back? Because many of us, we're holding back. We're withholding ourselves to this experience of life. And I just ask the question, why? What are we afraid of? What is it that we are afraid to experience or express or do out there in the world? If it's all coming from this place of heart, from this place that is the infinite creator within each and every one of us, if it's coming from that place, we can do no wrong. We live these endless, bold possibilities in life, and life just gets better and better and better and better and better. Oh, well, I'll tell you what I experienced this week in BC. Boy, howdy. What a tremendous gathering, the Circle of Love gathering. And I will point out that you can go to circleoflovegathering.com and see the ones that are coming up. They do several of these each year, and they're all over North America. The next one is going to be in Atlanta, and the one after that is going to be in New Mexico, and we'll do another one in Canada at some point. I know that they're planning on going back to BC in 2018, but I'm going to see if we can get them to come to this side of the country sooner than that. Anyway, that's a discussion for me to have with the organizers of that particular event. But I went to this Circle of Love gathering, and it is a circle of love. I mean, we come together. It is an intimate experience. There were only about 60 participants in the experience, and you come together, and you have these brilliant musicians who are, playing music, and you've got brilliant speakers and brilliant workshops, and you just kind of come into this loving embrace of spirit that we're all sharing. And you watch people move through and become transformed by finding the love that's in their heart, which is ultimately what the Circle of Love gathering is all about. Because when we truly find the love that is in our own heart, life gets easier. We can breathe a little easier. And the great thing about this, too, is that we have the opportunity in every moment, and this is one of the things that I really took away this week, is the great reminder that there's always more to have, experience, be, and do. Because the Spirit is infinite. And so we can never experience all of it, right? If it's infinite, that in and of itself would suggest that there's always something more. There's always something more. It's ceaseless. It's non-ending. Ernest Holmes and Willis Kinnear, this is a co-quote. It's funny, you did a co-quote with William Hornaday and Ernest Holmes today. It's funny that we both came up with a quote that's by two people. I forget which book this is in, but the quote is this: "We should always be breaking down old patterns of thought and creating new ones of a greater vision." We should always, not just sometimes, we should always be breaking down old patterns of thought and creating new ones of a greater vision. One of the things that happens, and I'm not going to call it good, I'm not going to call it bad, I'm going to call it just it is. Part of the way that we experience life is through patterns of thinking, through patterns that we've embodied as beliefs. And this is how the tendency of our life shows up. And so these patterns of thinking, these patterns of thought become the expression of our lives. And so what they're suggesting here is that we should be looking at those things as they come up. We're confronted with them all the time in the world of form, the world of circumstance. We see the pattern, and we are at choice in every given moment to say, I may decide to break down that pattern because I know that there's something grander beyond the habitual thinking that I'm engaged in. But boy, isn't it comfortable? Doesn't life get really comfortable and cozy when we're living in those patterns? Like, oh yes, I go home and at 5 o'clock every single day I have my little meal and I have my glass of wine and then I watch my shows and then I, do the things that I do every single day that are all born out of habit. It's just habit. But it feels really comfortable, right? And then your friend calls you and says, hey, maybe you should come out tonight. And you think, oh gosh, that would be breaking my pattern. And doesn't that feel scary? But I'm home and I'm watching my shows and I'm enjoying my dinner. No, you should come out. See what life has to offer. In every moment, we have the capacity to have that friend, the infinite friend, call us and say, why don't you come on out and really experience something new and exciting? I'm doing something tonight that, I'm about to say it, that my husband invited me to do. I think that's the first time I've said it in the context of service. So while I was in BC, he texted me a message and he says, there's this thing that I'm interested in doing, and if you're interested, I'll get tickets to it. And it's not my kind of thing. It's really not my kind of thing. And I look at it and I think, okay, I'm at choice here because I have an idea about what I'm talking about today. And so it's in the middle of the week and I'm thinking, okay, I have a choice here. I can either practice what I preach or I can go to that place of comfort, finish what we're doing here today, have a board meeting, go home, watch television, make dinner. But this is very much out of my comfort zone because this is something that at some point along the way, I made a decision I didn't like, and that's haunted houses. So Dane got us tickets to go to Casa Loma tonight to experience the haunted house, right? And I struggle with that because I'm like, well, at some point, I don't like haunted houses. That's not something that really appeals to me. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to step back and say, you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to experience something new today. Now, where I made that decision that I don't like haunted houses, I couldn't tell you because I have never actually gone to a haunted house. I just have some idea of what they are and what it will be and what my experience will be, but I don't know what it's going to be. I may go there and love it. I may go there and hate it. I don't know. But you know what? I have the willingness to try. And that's really what it takes. Let's all step into the willingness to try something new. It doesn't have to be a haunted house. What is that thing that maybe you've been putting off? What is that thing that is stepping out there and is going, oh my gosh, it seems so far away. It seems so far out of reach. You know what? You will never reach it as long as you keep thinking it's out of reach. You must take that step forward into some new idea. Whew! We should always be breaking down old patterns. I wonder what pattern I'm going to break down today by experiencing this new thing and creating new ones of a greater vision. I don't know that the vision I carry away from the haunted house is necessarily one that I want to embody, but I'm going to have a good time. That's my decision too. Because I can walk into this saying, you know what, I'm not going to have a good time, and I guarantee you I will not have a good time. Or I can walk into it saying, I'm going to have an incredible time, and I guarantee you I will have an incredible time. Because that's the way this stuff works. What you think, what you believe, what you feel becomes your life. And you're 100% in charge. So, step out, make life the best it can be. Start that today, here, now. One of the great things that we can do in light of this, and which is infinitely supportive of the principle that we teach, which is a principle of love, is learning how to love the greatest love of all, which is the love of the self. And I talk about the capital S self, the infinite self which resides, which is expressing in and as each and every one of us. One of the things that I brought to the Circle of Love gathering, I was there as a speaker and to present a workshop. And the truth is, I've done a lot of workshops. Typically, I do workshops that were designed by other people. And I decided I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to bring something that I designed. And so I brought, some of you may remember this, I did this as part of the self-mastery course about 3 years ago. I brought spiritual speed dating, as a full workshop experience to the Circle of Love gathering. Now, here's one of the funny things that happened with spiritual speed dating, because in the program, it just says spiritual speed dating, Reverend Jonathan Zenz. They don't have any description of the workshop. I didn't provide them with a description of the workshop, so there's no reason that it should have been in there. But of course, people start coming up to me the day before the workshop, and they're saying, so I'm married. Is it okay if I come to the workshop? What is it that I can expect there? And I said, if you're married, I'm not here to try and create relationships for you. This is not actual speed dating. So, the whole point of the workshop in spiritual speed dating is to go and find the love of your life. But truly to come to that place of recognition that the love of your life must be the self, must be yourself, first and foremost. Because as, just on my mind, because as RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anyone else? So finding that love. So here's how spiritual speed dating works, and we will do this as a full workshop experience. So first of all, I come in, and everybody's sitting down, and they're very polite and attentive as because typically in workshops you sit and you actually just sit and listen for a lot of it, and you may have a little journaling exercise, or there may be some little thing that you do, but a lot of it is sitting and listening. I'm like, no, this is the middle of the week. You people are tired. It's an afternoon workshop. We're going to get up and we're going to be active. So I start off by saying, blah, blah, blah. Here I am speaking. And then I read them. It's actually lyrics to a song, which was funny because later on one of the participants came and said, you should just sing the song. You're a singer. Why don't you just sing the song? And I said, oh, well, of course, that makes sense. So next time I do it, I'll probably sing the song. Of course, I have to learn the song. And then we get into the spiritual speed dating. Now, the way it's been set up is I have a semicircle of chairs, 2 rows. There's the back row and the front row. And when they come in, everybody is facing the front, as you would expect when you're in a workshop. And everybody sits down, and they're very, And then I say, okay, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Those of you who are in the front row, turn your chair around and face the person behind you. Well, that, first of all, breeds terror in people, because now you have to look in somebody else's eyes. I'm going to use Lena as, because she doesn't know I'm doing this. I'm going to use Lena as a visual reference for this. So now we have to look at each other. And what is it that we are to do? Well, the first part of the exercise is I look at Lena, and if I am on the inside circle, I am offering to Lena, and her job is simply to receive. That's her only job in this moment. I offer Lena what I recognize in her and know in her, what I see as good, as loving, as kind, as compassionate. I look at Lena and I allow myself to intuitively express the great things that I see in Lena. So I recognize, Lena, that you are a beautiful woman, that your heart is so full of love. I look in those eyes and I see into your soul, knowing that you are always compassionate, caring, and giving. And I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you.
So we do this for a full minute. And people say, how can I talk for a full minute? A minute goes by real fast. You do this for a full minute, and then I ring the bell, everybody stands up, you move to your left, you sit down in the next chair, you've got another person in front of you, and you now have to do it with the next person. So the outside circle, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The outside circle, their only job is to receive. The inside circle is to offer what it is that they see in the other person. And you keep going around and keep going around and keep going around, and they get to the end of the semicircle, and instead of going to the chair to your left, you have to hop, and you are now on the outside of the circle. Your only job is to receive. Everybody gets a chance doing this. So it goes around the entire, we do a full circuit. So everybody, and this takes like 45 minutes. I had 22 people in the workshop. It takes like 45 minutes to do the full circuit. And everybody gets done, and it's like, oh gosh, that feels so good. Oh, having all of this love poured on me, it just feels so good, right? And then I tell them what the second part of the workshop is. And this is what makes people kind of want to run screaming from the room. Because the next part of the workshop is for the receiver to simply bear witness to what it is that the person who is speaking is saying about themselves. Expressing the God qualities that they understand about themselves, expressing the love that they understand about themselves. And this goes on for 45 minutes as you move your way around the circle, and you have to keep talking about yourself. This makes people very uncomfortable. But I'll tell you, by the end of it, you cannot get people to stop talking about themselves. Seriously, first of all, so the first round is always like, people start to speak, and then there's like right towards the end of the minute, there's like a little bit of a lull, because people aren't really quite sure. Ding! Okay, I can move to the next chair. Oh, I have to start over. And then they start speaking. And as they keep going around, by the end of it, they keep talking and talking and talking, and it's become so, the energy's become so alive in the room that all of a sudden, they can't hear the bell. So here I am up there going, all right, it's time to move to your next chair. Because once the Spirit takes over, that thing which is inside you that truly understands the love and truly is expressing the love, it cannot help but express itself by means of you. And so it becomes the new way of thinking, the new habit of thinking. It is breaking down the old pattern and establishing a greater vision of the self. So you get to the end and everybody's weeping. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I love myself. And it's a good thing. We should all love ourselves. So that was leaning into self-love, which I think is the most important lesson any of us can take away. Because when we truly understand the self-love and we look at what is the basis of that love and truly recognize that it is the infinite Spirit that is all around, it's that energy that connects us all, we actually create the better world that we're seeking. Remember, the theme for this month is global transformation through personal transformation. And so as we transform ourselves personally to that place of compassion, love, light, life, the harmony at the base of our soul, the world changes. The world changes. And I think there's always room for the world to change a little bit more. I'm struggling right now in what I want to continue with, because it's one of those things that can get very tricky, and I'm not going to talk about it, but one of the things that happened this week was a lot of talk about the election in the United States. And I'm not going to say one side or the other. It's not my place. But here's what I will suggest for all of us who are here bearing witness to what's happening there, and that is just pour love on all of it. Allow yourself to find the love in your heart towards it, because that will affect the outcome. It will transform this world. I think that only good can come out of whatever the outcome is in 2 weeks. That's my deep personal belief. But that is born out of we must love. We must love. Even when we are faced with something other than love, we must take the high road and love. And we should allow ourselves to do it with this in mind, that in every single moment as we take this step into love, we make it definite. We step into the "and so it is" of life. You know, we end our prayers by saying, "and so it is." That's definite. It's not, "and so it might be." If I work really hard, it might be. No, it's we finish our prayer by saying, "and so it is." It is now. We aren't saying it's going to be in the future. We're saying it's now, right in this moment. It is, and so it is. And the root word, you know, we don't utilize the term amen in this philosophy too much. I mean, some people do use it in this philosophy. But they mean the same thing. Amen means so it is, right? We just took it out of that vernacular so that it was more clearly understood that when we speak in prayer, when we speak from our heart, when we speak from that deepest place of understanding, we are making a definite statement unto a law of cause and effect that says, yes, this is how your life now unfolds. It's definite. So it's the definite article. We have people who have taught English in this room. We understand, do we all understand the difference between a definite article and an indefinite article? Can you think back to when I was in school and I was being taught grammar? An article is a word that precedes a noun and either really makes it definite or indefinite. So a spirit would be an indefinite article because it's not one, it's like, oh, it may be one of many, right? When we speak about spirit within this philosophy, we talk about the spirit that is indwelling within each and every one of us. And the definite article that I really wanted to get to today is this very idea, that there is not a spirit. There's not something separate from us. There's not something out there. We are each of us the spirit. We have the spirit residing within each and every one of us. We are connected in a cohesive whole by means of the Spirit, this loving energy. And whether you call it God, whether you call it Spirit, whether you call it universal source, whatever you call it, I love to call it love. Because that's the great reminder for me, that as I engage in the love, life, relationships, my expression creatively, my finances, my health, it all gets better. But it's up to me. It's up to each and every one of us to step in and step it up. Because no one else is going to do it for us. No one else is going to do it for us. So we live the Spirit. We live its life as our own. And there's absolutely no separation. We are a cohesive whole. Dr. Kathy Hearn, she actually, at a point, she was the spiritual leader of the United Centers for Spiritual Living. She got up and gave a great reminder to me, which is something I think is bears repeating for each and every one of us, and that is that the very first thing, if we learn nothing else, the very first thing we should learn within this philosophy is that every single problem is caused by a consciousness of separation. And every single solution is allowed through a consciousness of unity. That when we understand the equality that is inherent because we are all the expression of love, the expression of light, and the expression of life, when we truly come to that place of understanding, how can I have any conflict with any other person? But it takes work. It does take work. There are times when I forget. I forget sometimes. But I get back on that horse a lot faster than I used to. Because there would be times when I would forget and it would derail me for weeks. Now when I forget, look, I laugh at myself because laughter is healing. Look what I did. Look what I was thinking there. Well, I can change that now. I recognize it. And so based on what she was offering, I came up and I talked to the participants in the Circle of Love saying, once we truly embody this principle that the healing energy of the universe, the healing understanding that the way we solve whatever it is that needs to be solved is through a consciousness of unity, I said, that means we must come to that place of self-awareness, that unity resides within the self. And as we come to that place of self-awareness, that must then lead to action. Because it's not enough to just be aware. We must step in to action. Self-awareness must lead to self-actualization so that we're living life, not being overrun by a life that we may or may not want. We are at choice. This is the truth of who we are. Love. Love. The only energy, that self-givingness of the Spirit to itself by means of each and every one of us, by means of all of creation, for the purposes of creation. Love is it. Take a breath. Allow yourself just in this moment, if it's comfortable, you can put your hands right on your heart space, to drop down into love. Surrender to it. Allow yourself to surrender to the love in your heart. Nothing else matters in this moment. And as the only thing that exists is the present moment, there is no future and there is no past. Let us resolve now, right here and right now, to live in this space of loving kindness, this space deep in the heart, this space of gratitude, this space of forgiveness, this space of surrender. Let us all surrender to the love. Breathing into that idea. I allow it to be so, and so it is. Namaste. Everybody's like blissed out now. Yeah. I invite you to take whatever it is that you're offering the center in terms of a contribution today, your abundance that you're sharing, your tithe, your investment, whatever you choose to call it. Hold it in your hand. If you're joining us online today, first of all, I want to say thank you for being with us. Know that you are present with us in this room, even if you're not physically in this room. Hold whatever it is and recognize it for what it is, that it is simply an expression of this love. And as the baskets go around, we get to share this love, opening ourselves up to the deepest circulation, knowing that in the giving we also receive, and in the receiving we also give, and we open up to the infinite flow. So let's read together the divine givingness affirmation, which is on your song sheet, to concretize this idea. Here we go. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that Spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so we're going to sing this great Karen Drucker song, I Am So Blessed, as the baskets go around. I spent the week with Karen Drucker. She was there. I'm going to talk about that a little bit as well. Here we go. Who's starting it? Steve is starting it.
Steve, yeah. Remember
Oh, okay.
Remember $200 an hour?
You changed
Yeah.
the chart. It was a different chart
Yeah.
last time I looked.
Okay.
Ah.
1, 2, 3.
Feel free to stand up and stretch, too. Get into the energy of the music.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful, grateful, grateful. We are so blessed.
And so, Lena, I invite you, please, to do a blessing over what it is we have received today.
We are so blessed right here, right now, with each of your contributions, giving, receiving. It's a constant flow, and know that it comes back to you multiplied abundantly. And these funds will be used for the highest good, for the center, for this community going forward. For all of this, I say thank you. My word spoken is done, as the universal law only simply says yes to abundance, to flow, to receiving, to giving. The constant currency in each of our lives is present, and in this center. I let it go, I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is.
We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful, 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 grateful. Grateful, 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 grateful. We are so blessed.
All right. I'm going to invite Helen Balleau up to let us know what's happening here.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. We have our silent auction that is up and running. There is 1 week left to place your bids. You have the web address on your form there, so take a look, go in, place your bids. You'll get notification of whether you've been outbid or not, and then you can bid again.
You can also, because it's a bit of an unruly web address, if you go to csltoronto.com, there's a link right on the top of the page. Just links straight to the auction there as well.
And lots to choose from. Yes. We have our week 3 of our season of gratitude daily meditations with Sonia Byrne that are happening on our Facebook page, the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto Facebook page. Brilliant, brilliant 2-minute meditations every day from Sonia Byrne. So you can go to our page and listen to those every day, like them, share them, comment on them. It's a great way to get those meditations out to a number of people. And we have our meditation practice on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here at the center. We also today have a Board of Trustees meeting at 1 p.m. upstairs. You are more than welcome to come and observe the meeting if you like. And next Sunday, I am giving a heart math workshop, which is a great way to reduce stress, to build up your resilience, and to really get into your heart space. So that's happening at 1:30 p.m. next Sunday. And then, could I get a drum roll, please? Save the date. Thursday, December 15th is our annual Christmas Gala. Woohoo! And the entertainment is provided by Elvira Hopper and Jonathan Zenz. They're putting on a show for us. So tickets will go on sale November 1st.
Yes.
Yes.
I have an
that's it.
announcement.
You have an announcement?
Yes, we have a guest speaker next week.
You do.
And there's a reason that we have a guest speaker next week. I'm going to be out of town. Those of you who know my history, I came up through the NoHo Arts Center for New Thought in North Hollywood, California, which is now known as the Global Truth Center. And they have sold their building and are moving to a new location. And next week is their final service in their location. And since it was my home for, gosh, better part of a decade,
Yeah,
I'm going to go
10
help
years.
them celebrate that. It is also Dr. James Mellon's doctorate ceremony, as he has bestowed his doctorate next week as well. So I'm going to be gone. Our guest speaker in my stead will be the Reverend Helen Vallot.
Yes. Thanks, Jonathan.
So,
Okay.
come and enjoy Helen next week. Yes.
Yay. Yeah.
All right.
To be notified as to what my talk title is.
Well, you put the Friday email together, so you can just put in whatever you want.
Oh, who knows what that's going to be.
Well, I wasn't going to really reference that, but okay. Are we done?
We're done.
Leave the stage. As James Mellon says, back to me. So one of the great joys that I have when I go to these conferences is to experience the musicians in this movement. And we had 3 extraordinary musicians who were providing the great musical inspiration for the week. Those musicians were Amy Bishop, who has played here at our center, Gary Lynn Floyd, who was part of our music team at the conference last year, and Karen Drucker. Now, we sing a lot of Karen Drucker's music. She's not been here with us, but I did talk to her.
Okay,
I
good.
talked to her, yes, to see if she would be able to make some time to come and fly out from San Francisco, where she lives, and join us for a great celebration. One of the things that happens when we're immersed in that sea of love is the creative spirit absolutely takes over. And what was happening for them in particular is their creativity was just exploding. They wrote 4 new songs together while they were experiencing the circle of love. And except for Gary and Amy, none of them had really worked together before. So it was really quite extraordinary to watch this flow of love. So we're going to introduce one of their songs. I got permission to do one of their new songs today. It's a chant. It's very simple. And what I'm going to invite us all to do during this chant is to simply do what we did at the completion of the talk, which is drop down, which is the name of the song, Dropping Down. So take a breath. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. That's the whole song. I am dropping to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. And so I find myself in that place of surrender. Surrendering to the infinite understanding that there is only one thing going on, one whole, one energy, one perfect infinite spirit, the Spirit, the definite article. Each and every one of us is an individualized aspect of this cohesive whole. We are living its life as our own. I recognize and know that each and every one of us has equal potential in the expression of and as spirit. And so, from this point of view, from this understanding, from this deep place of resonance, I say life is good. I claim life to be good right here and right now. And I trust and know that in that claim, everything that unfolds for each and every one of us is in alignment with that idea that life is good. We are each of us loving in the experience of life, that each and every one of us are living the greatest expression of the Spirit that we can. Right here and right now, we claim it, we know it, we trust it, we live it, and we love it. And so in gratitude, I simply say yes. I allow myself to be filled with that deepest expression and feeling of gratitude, knowing that it is in gratitude that I can sit back, relax, and just watch it all unflow. I'm grateful for everyone who stepped up in service today. Grateful for Lynette, our board member on duty today. Grateful to have her in the room with us. I'm grateful for Helen, Reverend Helen, assisting today. Grateful for our greeter, Sandra, Chris in the bookstore, Lori and Carol for setting up, Mira and Yelka cleaning up today. I'm grateful for Brendan on our sound, Jim on our webcast. Grateful for the entire Queen Street Band, for the brilliance and the inspiration that they share each and every week. I am grateful for Margaret Ann, your beautiful meditation this morning. And I'm grateful for the insight and wisdom from Lena, our practitioner of the day. I am infinitely grateful to every single person in this room, every single person watching online. I am grateful for the community, the love that we share. And so in gratitude, I simply release, let go, and allow, as together we say, and so it is. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. Repeat that last line. Surrendering in love. Surrendering in love. Surrendering to the truth of who I am. To the truth of who I am. To the truth of who I am. truth of who I am. Down, I am dropping down. I am dropping down. I am dropping down. The circle of love, to show our appreciation when the energy doesn't seem right for applause. You raise your hands up, wiggle your fingers. This is how deaf people applaud. So let's kick this energy out into the street, this energy of love with Love is in the Air.
Feel free to dance, of course.
Yeah.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish, I know that I'm being wise, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, in the whisper of a tree. Love is in the air, in the thunder of the sea. And I know that I'm not just dreaming, I know that I'm feeling sane, and it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when you call out my name.
Here we go.
Love is in the air, love is in the air. Love is in the air, in the rising of the sun. Love is in the air, when the day is nearly done. And I know that it's not an illusion, I know what I see is true, and it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when I reach out to you. Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish, I know that I'm being wise, and it's something that I must believe in, 'cause it's there when I look in your eyes.
Sing out. Here we go.
Love is in the air, love is in the air. Love is in